Welcome back to Go With Us, and this is everything you really need to know this week in Pokemon Go, running from the 22nd of June all the way until the 29th. Let's get straight into our calendar, and we're going to kick off with our Max Monday, which is going to be featuring Dynamax Hoothoot for the very first time in Pokemon Go, and that is going to be taking place from 6 to 7 p.m. that local time. Dynamax Hoothoot can evolve into Dynamax Noctowl. When we have a look at Noctowl, unfortunately, it just doesn't have the best stats. It has a max CP of 2288, attack of 145, defense of 156, and it does get saved slightly on the HP with 225. It is weak to 3 different types, which is going to be electric, ice, and rock, but it does take resisted damage from ghost, ground, bug, and grass. Its fast attacks are going to be wing attack and extra sensory. Its charge attacks are going to be sky attack, nightshade, shadow ball, and psychic. So let's just quickly look at how this affects this Pokemon as a raid attacker. It's sitting as a flying type, not even the top 100. So immediately, this is not a raid attacking Pokemon. Even in the Go Battle League, as of recording this video, Noctowl is actually ranked just outside of the top 200. So in previous GBL metas, Noctowl has really stood the test of time, but in this meta, it's not so good. But as a max attacker, let's see how good it is. Unfortunately, with that lackluster attack stat, on top of the fact that if we look at its fast moves, both of them are 1 second fast moves, which is not the worst, but it's definitely not the best. You always want a half a second fast move so you can charge that Dynamax meter a lot quicker, and once you get into that Dmax phase, you can then switch into your attacking Pokemon. Unfortunately, Noctowl, at least at this stage, is just going to be a dex filler. There are definitely just going to be better flying type attackers and probably better flying type tanks, even though that HP stat is pretty high. But just before that takes place on Monday, don't forget about your Adventure Sync rewards. And remember, if you walk 25 kilometers in the week, you will get access to a 5-kilometer Adventure Sync egg, and if you walk 50 kilometers, you will get access to a 10-kilometer Adventure Sync egg. The Pokemon hatching from the 5-kilometer Adventure Sync pool is going to be Budew, Chingling, Sableye, Tyrogue, and Happiny. And in the 10-kilometer Adventure Sync pool, we can see Druddigon, Toxel, Bagon, Drampaw, and Gibble. Unfortunately, the hatches were definitely better last season. However, something like Gibble is still a very good one to go after. It isn't a 10-kilometer pool, but if you did hatch that Hundo CP of 635, it's a great opportunity because we know that Mega Garchomp Z will be coming to the game at some point, and of course, Mega Garchomp on its own right now is one of the best Pokemon in the entire game. And of course, on top of that, you're going to get free Pokeballs, Great Balls, some Stardust, and Rare Candy too. Recently, they have made a few updates to those daily discoveries bonuses, and it very much affects Mondays and Wednesdays. I'll get to Wednesday in a little bit, but guys, on Mondays, every single Dmax raid you complete with these Hoothoot on Max Monday, you will get a free Rare XL Candy, and I tested this in person during the Roggenrola Max Monday last Monday, and I actually got a shiny, to be honest. As you can see on screen right now, it is actually my first Dmax shiny, which I couldn't believe. But most importantly, I noticed that the XL Candy bonus was guaranteed, so I got 10 free Rare XL Candy just by saving up some Max Particles or buying Max Particle packs and blowing through the Max Mondays. It's definitely worth your time. It's just added another incentive to play Max Mondays, especially if the Pokemon isn't so great like it was for Dmax Hoothoot, but it's a double win if it's something like Dmax Roggenrola last week. Before I move into Tuesday, let's have a look at our Research Breakthrough box. Remember, this comes from completing your 7th day stamp by completing field research tasks every single day. Once you get your 7th day stamp, you will then get an encounter with a reward Pokemon on top of some premium items. Those reward Pokemon, though, can be Dragonite, that Hundo CP is going to be 1625, Axew's in there at 586 CP, Honedge is in there at 595, Jangmo-O is in there at 415, Indeedee Male and Indeedee Female are both in there with 1027 and 1047 CPs respectively for their Hundos, and Cloth is in there. That is the only one that cannot be shiny, by the way. That Hundo CP is going to be 1030 CP, but I do have a feeling Cloth will be made shiny a little bit later in the season. Cloth just told me that a lot of you guys aren't subscribed, and yeah, you see, he just told me that only 30% of people watching this video right now are subscribed. Cloth says, please hit the subscribe button. Just do it now. If we get back to our calendar again, from Tuesday is where this week really starts to ramp up. But before I get there, let's have a look at our raid bosses happening this week. First and foremost, as of the release of this video, you guys up until Tuesday will have the chance to raid Necrozma. Necrozma can fuse into either Duskmane Necrozma or into Dawn Wings Necrozma. Duskmane Necrozma is one of the best steel types in the game right now. I believe it's still like in the top 4 or 5 steel type attackers right now, and even as a psychic type attacker, it still has some decent play. But it's really Dawn Wings Necrozma that really shines after this fusion takes place because it is the #1 ghost type attacker in the entire game. But the reason why is that those stats after the fusion takes place comes from the Necrozma, including the shiny status. So if you're looking for the high IV shiny fusions, you need to get high IV Necrozma, and this is the first time we've seen it in raids for some time. You've got 2 days left to do this. Then replacing Necrozma the very next day, which is funny enough is actually going to be on Wednesday, we have Kartana in the Northern Hemisphere, and then we have Celesteela in the Southern Hemisphere. Celesteela is actually a Steel and Flying type Pokemon. A lot of people didn't actually know that. It has a max CP of 3507, attack of 207, defense of 199, and a stamina of 219. Unfortunately, off the bat, this is not an attacking Pokemon. As a Steel type attacker, it's the 81st best in the game. As a Flying type, it's the 93rd best in the game. Celesteela is definitely more of a dex filler. That shiny is quite pretty though. The Hundo CPs for Celesteela is going to be 1772 CP, but the weather boost at 100% IV is going to be 2216, and that's going to be in snowy and windy weather because of its Flying and Steel typing. But it's Kartana and the Northern Hemisphere that's a very different story. Kartana is a Grass and Steel type Pokemon with a max CP of 4156, but here is where this Pokemon shines. What I'm going to get Juzzy to do now is highlight that 323 figure. Guys, that is some of the highest we've seen in Pokemon Go, especially from a non-mega. It hits tremendously hard. It has a defense of 182 and a stamina of 139. So this is probably going to translate very well to be an attacking Pokemon, but very much a glass cannon because it's not very bulky. As a grass type attacker, it is the 3rd best grass type attacking Pokemon in the entire game, just simply because it hits so hard, especially with that combination of Razor Leaf and Leaf Blade, 2 really good grass type combinations, especially as a raid attacking Pokemon. Even in the Master League right now as well, it's currently hovering around the 85th spot, so to be honest, Kartana is still a very good pick there too. But as much as this Pokemon isn't very bulky, just have a look at these resistances. Guys, it resists 10 different types, of which it double resists grass. If you guys want to know the 100% IVs for Kartana specifically, it's going to be 2101 CP, but the weather boost at 100% IV is going to be 2626. That's going to be in sunny and snowy weather because of its grass and steel typing. What mega raids are going down this week? Well guys, as of the release of this video, Mega Scizor will have 2 days left in raids, and remember, Mega Scizor is currently the 3rd best bug type attacker in the game, with Mega Mewtwo potentially around the corner. This could be a great opportunity to try and get a good counter, especially if you are a new or returning player, and even as a Steel type attacker, it's just breaking outside the top 20, so still a very viable Pokemon. But then replacing Mega Scizor coming in on Wednesday is going to be Mega Pidgeot. Mega Pidgeot is one of the Megas from the Kanto region, which is a Flying and Normal type Pokemon. It has a max CP of 4160, an attack value of 280, and a defense of stamina of 175 and 195. It actually has 4 fast moves, which are going to be Wing Attack, Air Slash, Gust, and Steel Wing, and its charge attacks is quite a big pool. It has Twister, Heat Wave, Air Cutter, which is an elite charge TM move, Hurricane, Brave Bird, Feather Dance, as well as Aerial Ace. How this translates as a Flying type attacker is that Mega Pidgeot is still breaking into the top 20 in the game. It's currently the 17th best Flying type attacker in the game. Please note that the 100% IVs, once you get an encounter with Pidgeot off that raid, is going to be 1216 CP, and the weather boost at 100% IV is going to be 1521 CP, and that's going to be in partly cloudy and windy weather because of its Flying and Normal typing. If you're looking to collect Mega Pokemon, Mega Pidgeot actually has 2 really great features. The first one is that it only costs 100 Mega Energy to get this Pokemon Mega evolved, which I think is very good. It's one of the lowest in the game. But the other thing is that when you walk this Pokemon as your buddy to collect Mega Energy, you only have to walk 1 kilometer, which is going to get you 5 Mega Energy at a time. Set this as your buddy. To be honest, it's underrated, and it does very much accumulate over time if you're looking to collect energy and you're low. And last but not least, one of the biggest raid bosses of this entire month is going to be shadowdialga. You really want to take advantage of this because, to be honest, the spawns of shadowdialga seem to be very common this month. So it's a great opportunity to raid this Pokemon. Remember, whenever you do raid a 5-star shadow raid boss, it is going to become enraged at about 60 or 70% of its health. You then need to use 8 purified gems to take away that enraged state. Once you do, it will become much easier to defeat. Or you can just power through the enraged state, but then you need to have some top counters. Whenever you do raid, you always want to try and enter with party power. The reason why is that party power is going to double the damage of every single one of your charged attacks, which is great. You could get stab damage, you could get best friend damage as well. So these are really good ways to stack damage. But if we have a look at shadowdialga and how good it really is, it has a max CP of 4565, an attack of 275, defense of 211, and HP of 205. A really good start. As a steel type attacker, it is the 7th best steel type attacker in the game, and as a dragon type attacker, it's breaking into the top 10. This Pokemon cannot be slept on. It's still very much standing the test of time, and even in the Master League right now, it's always been kind of hovering around the 30th or 40th spot, which is still very good because it is that dragon type. It can really do a lot of powerful, super effective damage. The other thing about shadowdialga is that it also resists 10 different types, and it's only weak to 2 things, which is going to be fighting and ground. Please raid shadowdialga while you've got the chance. To be honest, that shiny in its shadow form is beautiful as well, coming with that 1 in 20 shiny rate. But let's get back to our calendar again, and as you can see on Tuesday, we have our first event of the week, and that's going to be the Flying Taxi event. Before I go any further, I've already detailed a full flying taxi video for you, and trust me, there are little things in this event that a lot of people haven't noticed and completely overlooked. I'm going to leave it above me right now, but I'm also going to leave it as the end screen. This brings about the debut of Squawkabilly in Pokemon Go. Squawkabilly comes in 4 different colors, which is going to be the yellow and white plumage. Both of these will spawn globally, but then the green plumage Squawkabilly will only spawn in the Eastern Hemisphere, and the blue plumage will only spawn in the Western Hemisphere, so players can actually get a total of 3 without cheating. Spawning in the wild, we can see Hoothoot and Rookidee, and if we are lucky, we are going to get a rare spawns for Squawkabilly in the white color. We have featured 1-star raids going down. We can see Swablu, Starly, and Vullaby. In 3-star raids, we can see Hisui and Braviary, Corvisquire, and Bombardier. In field research, we do have the full list for that. We can see Spearow in there. The Hundo CP is going to be 342 CP. Hoothoot is 290, Rookidee is 285 CP, Squawkabilly is in there at 845, and Wattrel's in there at 354. But then a big part of this event is going to be that Flying Taxi Go Pass, which will go live at 10 AM on that Tuesday as well. If you're just running off the free track, you can expect the following rewards. You can get encounters with Pidgeotto, Hoothoot, Vullaby, Rookidee, and more. You're also going to get 1 Super Rocket Radar, and we're also going to get rewarded mysterious components and shadow shards. If you do upgrade though to the Go Pass Deluxe, you will then get additional encounters with more flying type Pokemon. You're going to get an additional Super Rocket Radar to encounter Shadowreshiram twice, and the bonuses connected to this Go Pass is at a tier 1, which is at rank 10. It's going to be 2 times Catch Candy that gets unlocked, and then a tier 2, which is going to be at rank 20, where you can earn more Stardust by defeating Rocket Grunts or leaders. If you are going to be battling a lot of Grunts in a short space of time, maybe in a half an hour period, throw on that star piece, you could be surprised at your Stardust gains. As I list off that event, you might be like, meh, that's a little bit average. Honestly, like I said, watch that video at the end. There are hidden things you haven't noticed. That event will be starting on Tuesday, but the other thing we need to focus on Tuesday is going to be Showcase Tuesdays. They've also made a recent improvement to this where now we can enter Pokemon up to 20 different categories, but we can enter 5 showcases on this day as well, which is going to give us more chance at coming first to chip away at that Showcase Platinum medal, which requires us to win 100 showcases on our way to level 80. That's a good one to always look at, but you can also enter those 5 showcases and get some really good premium rewards, such as some incubators, super incubators, star pieces, lucky eggs, so on and so forth. Let's get back to our calendar again. Moving on to Wednesday the 24th, the one thing we really need to focus on is going to be the raid hour for either Celesteela in the Southern Hemisphere or Kartana in the Northern Hemisphere. This is going to be taking place from 6 to 7 p.m. local time. However, there's been a big update to these raid hours, which gives you far more incentive to play. Like I said on Max Monday, the same bonus when it comes to daily discoveries is going to be applied here. You will get, for every single in-person raid during those raid hours, you will get 1 guaranteed rare XL candy for every single in-person raid you do during that hour. That is a huge incentive. Guys, just in the space of 2 days, playing 2 hours, you could get up to 20 rare XL candy just by completing in-person raids and max battles. That is something and a huge incentive that they've made a recent change for. It's the perfect way to make us more hungry to play that type of hour. But let's move on to Thursday now. We've got another stacked day here for more than one reason. First and foremost, the Flying Taxi event will be taking over by Team Rocket at midnight on that Thursday, and for the next 5 days Team Rocket is going to be in play. Giovanni returns with a brand new Shadow Legendary, which is going to be Shadowreshiram. Let me just tell you, we've also already done a complete video breakdown of the new Team Rocket takeover, what the new shadows are, how good Shadowreshiram is, and what targets you should really be going after. I'm going to leave it above me as well and leave this also as the end screen. Guys, this week in Pokemon Go is stacked, but the Shadow event is definitely better than the last one. Team Rocket is going to appear more frequently at Pokestops and in balloons. Outside of this event, they would come every 6 hours. Inside of this event, they're probably going to come around every 3 hours or every 2 hours. Pokemon caught via 1 and 3-star Shadow Raids are going to have a wider variance of IVs, but most importantly, the big bonus on this day is going to be the ability to remove frustration. Please remember, you only have 5 days to do this. I would strongly recommend making a frustration tag folder and throwing every single single shadow Pokemon that you want to remove frustration off in that folder, so when the event starts, you don't forget you only need a charge TM to remove frustration. We also know some of the new shadow Pokemon coming to the game. We do have Shadow Hoothoot, Shadow Noibat, Shadow Rookity, and Shadow Seal. Field research tasks will be Team Rocket focused, where we can complete tasks to earn fast TMs, charge TMs, and mysterious components. And as we did say, that Go Pass for Flying Taxi will go live, but of course it is going to be integrating Team Go Rocket. As we said earlier, with their tier 2 bonus at level 20, you can get more Stardust by beating Rocket Grunts as well as Rocket Leaders. This is a really good takeover event. Please make sure to check out that video. The second thing we need to remember is going to be Go Battle League Thursdays, which is still going to be running for the remainder of the season. Remember, that's going to be at 4 times Stardust rewards. So like we said, there's huge potential Stardust gains. And as we have said in previous weeks, the main reason why you want to get into Go Battle League is because of that free reward track. We have had many community members over previous weeks telling us all the amazing things they've got. Shundo Onyx, Groudon, Hundo Zacian. The GBL reward track is literally a free way to get really good Pokemon just by playing the game, guys. These are the little corners that a lot of pro players take advantage of. The last thing you need to worry about on Thursday is the return of Spotlight Hours. It did return last week with Swinub, but this week the Spotlight Hour from 6 to 7 p.m. local time is going to be on Wingull. The bonus is going to be 2 times Catch Stardust. So if we just look at how to take advantage of that bonus very quickly, every single Wingull you catch with a star piece running with a 2 times Catch Stardust bonus is going to be granting you 300 Stardust per catch, and that's without weather boost as well. If it is weather boosted, it's going to be closer to 400, which is again not something you want to scoff at if you're looking for Stardust gains. The other great thing about Wingull though is that it's a really good Pokemon in the Go Battle League, and it's really stood the test of time. Currently in the Great League, it's ranked 40 right now with Wing Attack, Weather Ball, and Hurricane. The optimal IV set you want there is going to be at 0, 12, 15, and in the Ultra League, Pelipper is not ranked as high, but of course with 15, 15, 15, it can max out at less than 2,500 CP cap. Currently ranked at 147 with the exact same moveset, so overall, the Spotlight Hour is looking like another win. Then let's move on to Friday the 26th. Friendship Fridays have become a massive part of these videos. However, they have changed it, which I cannot believe. Now the bonuses are different. The only guaranteed trading bonuses is that trading is going to cost 20% less Stardust, on top of the fact that we can now make an additional 2 special trades on that day for a total of 3 special trades, which is something you really need to take advantage of. You have to be doing those 3 special trades because they could go lucky. However, they have taken away the bonuses of guaranteed XL candy, including an increased chance to go lucky, which I'm going to be honest, that was a real heartbreaker when I saw that, because I thought it was just such a good way to reinvigorate trading in Pokemon Go. I felt like a lot of people didn't do it, but yeah, now you still want to be trading in Pokemon Go, but unfortunately with these recent changes, it feels like there's less incentive to trade on Fridays now specifically. But always remember, take advantage of those special trades. Trading Pokemon in Pokemon Go is one of the most underrated ways to get amazing Pokemon. Then let's move on to Saturday. This week stacked, we have the debut and the new Super Mega Raid Day featuring Megaskarmory, the flying and steel type Pokemon. The event bonuses is that the remote raid limit is going to be increased to 20, and that's going to be on Friday from 5 p.m. PDT time all the way until Saturday 8 p.m. PDT time. We can receive up to 6 free raid passes from spinning gym discs. And remember, if you didn't do a raid the day before, that pass can carry over for a total of 7, but I actually have another way where you can add another 3 free raid passes, so please make sure to check out this video above me because I've already done your Megaskarmory breakdown. I've stacked it for you guys, trust me. Also, every single Skarmory you catch from these Super Mega Raids is at least going to be at Mega Level 1. And of course, the shiny rate on this day is going to be 1 in 10 whenever you do encounter a Skarmory. There will be a timed research available to all trainers where we can earn 1 premium battle pass, including an encounter with Houndoom. There will be an event ticket as usual for a total cost of $5, where you can receive up to another 14 raid passes from spinning gym discs. There's an increased chance to get rare candy XL from these raid battles, which is why I want to stop here again and tell you how important that Max Monday and those raid hours are from now on, because it's a guaranteed rare XL candy for every single raid, where here it's only more chance even with a ticket. And you're also going to get an additional 5,000 XP for completing Super Mega Raid battles and an additional 5,000 Stardust from every single Super Mega Raid battle you complete. Because we know it's going to take 8 shields, therefore 8 different Mega Pokemon to take down Megaskarmory, because 1 Mega Pokemon pretty much equals 1 shield to take down. we know that you need to be looking at that Pokemon Go map website, which I am going to leave in the description. But if you do this a few days before, you will be able to plan with your community to see where their super mega raids are going to be, so you can team up and take them down a lot easier. If you're wondering how good Megaskarmory might be in Pokemon Go, we actually also released this video yesterday, which I think could be a great opportunity to watch that to see how you can really take advantage. A few things you may not be thinking about, but most importantly, how good is this Pokemon really going to be in 2026 in Pokemon Go? So, update. They have changed the blog post when it comes to Trade Fridays. The chance of lucky trades are still going to be guaranteed, including the XL candy on top of the 20% less Stardust and the 2 extra special trades. That is massive news. Big hype. Then moving on to the last day of the week, we have to talk about Scenic Sunday. Guys, they've made this change on Scenic Sunday, I believe, because they did a lot of testing during Sustainability Week, where the Silly Cobra made its debut in Pokemon Go for the very first time. More specifically, the routes. If you guys remember, a lot of Lapras were spawning Trubbish with higher increased shiny rates, but it was the frequency of those spawns on routes that were really good. They have adjusted Scenic Sunday to really fit that mold a lot better. For example, now on Scenic Sunday, more Pokemon will be appearing in the wild, on top of the fact that more Pokemon will appear while following a route, including the fact that if you pop an incense during that route, it's going to be spawning more Pokemon there. You're also going to have reduced distance to earn buddy candy while exploring routes with your buddy Pokemon, and you can also encounter Mateo up to 3 times on that day. Of course, you will be able to exchange a gift with Mateo. Please make sure to pin those for a potential Scatterbug encounter, maybe from a region that you haven't got yet for those Vivillon medals. But also the 7-kilometer egg you get from Mateo could hatch a really rare Pokemon, because they are those regional Hisuian variants generally. But if you trade those Pokemon, you can chip away at that pilot medal, which requires you to reach that like astronomical figure of trading Pokemon from different distances. 7-kilometer eggs are the great way to do that, because they all hatch Pokemon that are coming from far countries that are over 10,000 kilometers away from you. Like we said earlier, that flying taxi event I'm going to leave above me right now. Those are a few things you haven't noticed, and the other thing is going to be the new Team Rocket event, which I'm going to leave above me right now. And once you've watched those, Megaskarmory is the next one you need to be watching. We stacked this video for you. Please smash that like and subscribe button and that hype button as well, so we can go as far as wide as possible. Love you guys. Go with us. Catch you in the next one, baby. Shh.